Throughout the entirety of the Thousand Years' War that still has found no end, there has always been a constant that has been everywhere on the terrestrial battlefield. Though no one can hear you scream in space, the sound of your own weapons fire is pretty much all you hear along with commands. But once on the ground, it is very common to know exactly where your enemy is simply by listening. It is known that the Carré Français are always ones who would sing as they begin to advance. This is to make sure that their lines are motivated to continue forward as they advance, and you can always tell how close they are by the pitch. The Cano-Breton are also ones that do not sing, but they do chant as they come up, a strange chant as they begin to advance. In their own language, they do not use Galactic Common. Neither do any of the others. It is based on their own species. But for every single one, they either talk, they sing, they chant. They always keep in communications with each other as they move forward. Except humans. When they were finally brought into the fold, their voraciousness was never to be underestimated. Though small in population, with only several billion, they still made a great impact wherever they were. However, their sheer rage and their ability to adapt to any battlefield is not what truly made them horrifying. What made them horrifying is you never heard them coming. Ever. Whenever it was silent, the nerves of everyone would be on edge. I don't hear anything. Are the humans out there? It's so quiet. The humans must be close. It was enough to drive you mad. And when you finally started looking around and working with the humans, you realized that they would simply move their appendages. But not just that, sometimes just a slight movement of their shoulders, or a sway in their hips, a certain movement of their lower appendage. One simple movement was enough to convey entire sentences of instruction. Though many times they had to look at each other, they did not need communications verbally to talk to anyone. They simply looked at each other, moved their appendages around, and continued. Sometimes this would come up with a complete change in the direction of which way they were moving. Sometimes this would simply break them apart, so they would go in different directions and get ready for whatever signal it might be to move them forward. And sometimes it was idle chit-chat. As they had 5 different digits on each of the appendage, sometimes they could sit there in perfect silence and move each of these digits in a way that they could talk to each other in full sentences. It was odd to everyone else, as we did not have this. Everyone else communicated verbally. At first, many people thought that the humans were simply telepathic until they worked with them. Sometimes a look was all a human needed. A raise of what they call an eyebrow. My species does not have eyebrows or the ability to change our facial features. However, they learned very quick by looking at our antennae, and we could tell exactly that they knew what we were thinking. It was strange. Humans are able to discern this so rapidly, and yet stay so quiet. But the one thing that was worse than a human being quiet is a human being loud, as this was always a signal. As the humans would jump out from absolutely nowhere, you didn't even know they were getting close, and they would stab at you, they would shoot you, they would swing something heavy at you, and then as it struck, pierce, or shot through you, you would suddenly hear this scream coming from them, this odd battle cry. And then there would be dozens, hundreds, thousands more coming out of the darkness, coming out of the ground, coming out of nowhere. You didn't even realize they were there. They would crawl, they would slither, they would walk, they would run. Sometimes it seems they would fly as they would jump at you, landing on any type of enemy they could and beginning to rip them to pieces. But before that, it was nothing but quiet. And even after the battle was over, you wouldn't hear much. A few of the humans talking, making sure that everyone was okay, and then it would be quiet again. Working with them is tantamount to what they call nightmare fuel. Every time we try to speak, every time we try to communicate, we're told, shh, quiet. As loud as their weapons were, it was amazing how quiet they could be. And again, simple look, a simple with the mouth, it didn't matter. A simple of the fingers was more than enough to get everyone to move together. A simple rotation of a single shoulder on one side made an entire group move forward without a single word. Humans are horrifying to work with as they are so quiet. They will be on top of the enemy before they even know what's going on. And if they can, they will kill silently. Though the 1,000 Years' War does not seem like it will end anytime soon, the humans being so quiet, yet striking so suddenly, seem to make things change in our favor. With any type of luck, even though loud species like mine will take credit for all these victories, it will be the quiet ones that have changed history.